All right. At tight end, we have Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, Zach Ertz. I think not much of a surprise there. Davis, do you agree with those rankings?
Yeah, yeah, no complaints. Those are the way I'd have them for sure.
Okay. Davis, who are you relatively high on?
I think the guy I am highest on is it's got to be Waller, right? Who had the bad game last week, but had a 38% target share heading into that Patriots game, and like I don't know, I'm pretty cool just throwing out Patriots games for skill position players, especially when they're the only good skill position player on their team. Like Ruggs didn't play, Edwards got injured in that game, so I'm cool. And I think Buffalo, whatever. Their defense seems fine. It doesn't seem as good as the Patriots defense. So I think Waller at 5,200. Man, yeah. He's gonna lose me some money this week, I think.
Sean, I think you're there with Davis, right?
Yeah, I am right there with Davis. They could be without Henry Ruggs and Brian Edwards this week. So it could be the Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller show. I'm all in on bounce back game for Waller.
Yeah, so I mentioned, buying on rookies and, kind of looking at the routes run to see, which rookies were kind of jumping up in the board. And the same kind of applies to young guys that we expect to break out at some point that really haven't yet. One of those players, I think, is TJ Hawkinson. TJ Hawkinson, obviously, first round tight end, didn't get off to quite the start we wanted. Looking at his routes run these past 3 weeks, week 1, 60%, week 2, 66%, week 3, and this is, Kenny Golladay comes back, 89%. So I think that, now he's up to 70 for the season. I think that trend is going to continue. I think he's going to be a big part of their offense going forward. So I love TJ Hawkinson this week. I have him as my tight end number 7.
Okay. I'm very much in on Noah Fant, who I think is playing just as efficiently as he was last year. But now with Cortland Sutton out, is starting to see many more targets. And so going against a Jets defense that I think is pretty helpless, I could see him having a big game. So I have him all the way at number 4 in my rankings.
Are you team Rippin or team Driscoll?
I honestly don't know if it matters. I mean, I think
just wondering.
I think
they just said while we're doing this that Ripien is starting.
Oh, good, because I got Jets +3, so great.
That's disgusting, dude. You should feel bad for that.
I love disgusting bets.
No, here's the thing. The Jets they want Gase away, dude. They thought if they laid down that hard against the Colts, they would get Gase fired. But this is the Gase getting fired game, I think.
Yeah, there's a real chance for that, actually. If it's really bad, they could dismiss him over the long weekend, the break. So, yeah, you could see it happening. Davis, who are you low on?
I think that it's going to be – I guess I expect a lot of people to go to Gesicki just because I think a lot of people are going to want bringbacks for Seattle. I think a lot of people are going to want to get guys they're going to want those Fitzpatrick sacks. And it's not that I don't like Mike Gesicki. I actually am like a long-term Gesicki truther. I was arguing with Pat Kerrane about him all offseason. The thing is, though, is I would rather play Logan Thomas. I would rather play Hunter Henry, right? And I think this is like peak Gesicki price at 5,100. Like he's very expensive at 5,100 on DraftKings.
Yeah. I mean, Raybon is taking the approach of preferring Logan Thomas with you. Logan Thomas is number 6 in Raybon's ranking. So
I'm playing Logan Thomas in cash.
Certainly someone to think about there. Sean, who are you relatively low on?
So the guy I'm relatively low on is Mo Alley-Cox, and it's more of just a word of caution at 3,900. I think people may pivot to him as a cheap option, and his game, I was high on him week 2 when Jack Doyle was out, but last week's 3 catch for 50 yards and a touchdown is kind of fluky because Jack Doyle returned and he ran around on, I think it was 60 to 70% of the snaps, and Mo Alley-Cox was limited to about like 25 to 30% of the snaps on pass plays. So I'd be careful with him. He's a guy that has a ton of talent. We might take him going forward, but this week, just stay away from him.
Raybon, what about you?
Tyra Higbee, he's priced as a top 3 tight end. I'm not there with Higbee. Looking at his routes run in the past 3 weeks, 65 to 50 to 40% of the dropbacks. Now, I do think some, like in the last game, that had to do a little bit with Buffalo. When they're healthy, they play well against tight ends. I don't think it's as big of a concern with Waller because he's not like a traditional, tight end. But, the way the Rams are playing right now, they're kind of mixing it up with game plans. They're running a ton. It was Higbee 40%, Everett 34% last week. For the season, it's 52 to 27%. So that's just, it's not a good split either way.
Sean, can we talk about this? Because it's rare that Raybon and I are exactly on the same side of something. But it's a situation where you have Higbee ranked number 3. Raybon has him number 18, and I have him number 18. Sean, talk
how did we get to 3? Whoa. Now I'm scared. Oh my God.
It must be just touchdown equity. I mean, the Rams have a pretty massive team total. On the fly, I can't really go into every projection for every guy in this range, but when it comes to Higbee, I still think he has touchdown equity. I'm projecting him for 4.2 catches and 48 yards. So, when I have him ranked 3rd, it's not like, I'm projecting a 8-catch game or anything. I think with Higbee, when it comes to my model, it just team total and touchdown equity. That's all I could say. But, I do think that, I smashed the under on him last week. I think when it comes to, his yardage and receptions, I think, those can be deceiving, but I just think touchdown equity with that Higbee.
Sean, give us the prop.
Let's go with Zach Ertz with no Dallas Goedert, and who knows who else is out for the Eagles. But I have his projection at 62.5 receiving yards.
I'll take the over, but it would have been way more funny if you would have said 62 receiving yards and 2.5 yards after the catch.
Right, exactly. Yeah, receptions is probably a better prop, huh?
I'd take the over up to like 5.5 on receptions, I think.
Oh, really? I would.
Dude, Bible group narrative. He's just gonna crush.
Under for me. I mean, number one, it's really odd with Ertz. I don't know what it is, but it's like when they're at home, Wentz targets him and he tends to eat. He's averaging 74.6 yards at home in 32 home games since 2016, just 48.8 in 30 road games over that same span. So that's a lot of a sample for such a huge split. But more than that, I'm just done like doubting this 49er team and Kyle Shanahan's ability to get this team prepared to beat opponents that think that like, oh, this team's hurt, they're banged up. Like I'm just done betting against them. And this is just another one of those situations. And also, like Carson Wentz couldn't be playing worse. And this just seems like you talk about Adam Gase getting fired. Carson Wentz is about to get fired.
Oh, I hope so. Buddy, I hope so. Bring Jalen, baby.
Yeah, I'm with Raybon on this. I'll take the under. An added part of this is Jaquiski Tart, the strong safety for the 49ers in particular, he's just been like a tight end shutdown defender for the past couple of seasons. So with Raybon there.